oops, I did it again. I brought back in some dairy in small amounts. I had thoughts as to why I did that. And it led to the same result that I get nearly every single time that I bring dairy back into my carnivore meat-based diet. And it wasn't great. So at the start of September 1st, I decided I am taking back the control over this aspect of my life. I'm not going to continue to do the dairy because I see that the dairy is not serving me. Okay, I know this. I've talked about it in previous videos. Me and dairy don't get along so well, with the exception, I will say, of a home-fermented yogurt that I make, Dr. William Davis's SIBO yogurt. I've been making that for the last, 6 or so months. That goes well. That doesn't give me any sort of issues the way that the lactose in actual dairy does. So I think the reason I turned back to adding in some dairy is because with my little morning cup of coffee, usually it's decaf. Maybe at the end I'll pour in a little leftover of my husband's caffeinated coffee. But I wanted something creamy. And so I put a little half and half in my coffee. And at first I was like, oh, it's just one day. But it's so good. Y'all, it's so good to have creamy coffee in the morning. And so the next day I woke up and I put some half and half in those, cups of coffee. And I did it for the next day and the next day. And pretty soon here I am like a week and a half into putting half and half in my coffee every morning. Now, when I'm going through phases like this, because it happens often, more than I'd like, I suppose, where I bring back in dairy, especially in the form of cream or in that morning cup of coffee, inevitably I start to get backed up. You know what I mean? Like, it's not so easy to go and take care of number 2 business in the bathroom. I won't say too much more. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I started experiencing that and I was like, enough is enough. Like, it's fine and dandy for a few days to kind of just dismiss the fact that, this is going to lead to some digestive, upset or dysregulation for the sake of that cozy, comforting cup of coffee that's nice and creamy. But I knew September's coming in. It's a really good time to release that which no longer serves you. I feel like we're going into a month where it's really good to be super intentional with what we are consuming, both physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Be really mindful of what you're choosing to allow into your life. At least that's how I feel the energy is coming in for September. So I just wanted to get off onto a clean slate for this month. So I've been 4 days without the dairy, right? So September 1st, it was no more little cheese sprinkled on some eggs here and there. No more, putting that half and half in my coffee. It's great. Things are re-regulating. I'm back to feeling good. Just want to throw this in there. Sometimes when I include dairy, I also start to get lower back pain. So it becomes kind of difficult to get good sleep at night because I toss and turn extra. And you best believe I'd been having some trouble sleeping kind of the tail end of August. So between the bathrooms, issues and the not sleeping well because of lower back pain, it's just, once again, confirmation dairy is not for me. Again, I can still do the home fermented yogurt because the lactose is converted into lactic acid, and that seems to be fine for me. It's a great way for me to get a healthy source of animal fats without having to, dollop on the tallow or the bacon grease or whatever. But my last batch that kind of led up to the start of me including the creamer, it just didn't turn out so well. And so I kind of was just not into eating it. So anyways, I ended up starting over with a fresh culture of the probiotics that I use in making those. And now the most recent batch is super delicious, excellent texture. Like, I'm back in business. I would much rather have that yogurt, topped on some eggs or a bowl of ground beef than I would have the half and half added to my coffee. It's great for me to get the extra fats. I know hormonally I need that extra source of animal fats, but my go-to source was not really calling my name. It wasn't so delicious at the time. So that's why I think I dabbled back into the dairy. Again, start of September, X that out. It's not for me. I want to feel really good going into this month. I want to kind of recalibrate and make sure I'm getting my focus on the things that feel really good. I've talked in other videos. For me, right now, I'm going through and in the midst of a spiritual awakening. At first, I thought it was coming from one direction, one source of, spiritual information. And recently, I have been called back to recognizing that it comes from God. G-O-D, God, the greatest, the highest, the only one that, is and ever will be. Which is quite different from my beliefs even just less than a month ago, right? Like, I'm telling you, there's been total transformation in my life. But this is related to the dairy in that if I want to be a disciple of the Lord, I need to be versed in discipline. And as I was thinking about that aspect, I realized carnivore is such an excellent training ground for cultivating your self-discipline because, one, it's not easy to be carnivore and to stick with these kind of constraints, really, that are put around a meat-based lifestyle. You know, you got to be willing to say no to a lot of the things that we as a society are conditioned to believe are totally fine and dandy. Oh, it has so many parallels to like the spiritual world and the spiritual understanding of, kind of what we need to be mindful of. Do you want comfort? Do you want comfort from your food? Do you want comfort from your religion? Or do you want results? Do you want to live in the best, most optimal way possible? I'll just leave that in this video for now. I do want to tie it in because in me deciding at the beginning of the month, I'm saying no to dairy. I did it, yes, for the physical, but also as a testament to what it is that I am pursuing as far as it comes to reunifying my relationship with the Lord. So that's that. No more dairy. Oops, I did it again. Just like our little fave Britney Spears from back in the day. I did it again. I had the dairy. I felt the consequences. You know, when you choose the things that aren't best for you, eventually you're going to get the results that aren't best for you. So I'm saying goodbye to dairy for the month of September and instead trying to align myself with being more disciplined so that I can bring that element of discipline into other areas of my life, especially as it relates to my spiritual walk with the Lord. All right, if you like to talk about carnivore stuff, meat-based eating, no dogma necessary, I host a weekly carnivore wellness meeting. I send out a Zoom link. We have been doing it on Fridays, but lately the schedule seems to be shifting it. So once a week, I send you an email with a link to the Zoom call. You just click join live. It's free. And there's just a handful of us right now that get together and talk and share aspects of our lives and, carnivore and health and healing and also mindset or, personal growth, things we're going through. So if that sounds like the place for you, if that is something that you need in your life, you want that support, you want that camaraderie as you go through the challenging nature of adopting and maintaining a carnivore meat-based lifestyle, you are absolutely welcome to do that. Just sign up for the email list. It's very rudimentary. carnivorewellness.kit.com, put in your email, and I'll send that link out to you once a week. If that sounds like it could be for you, then please join. We'd love to see you there. All right, I will see you next time.